In a world of horror, countless hours of cinema, what is truly terrifying? What will keep the kids up at night? What scene can never be unseen? Join us as we watch everything horror and discover the 13 degrees of screams.
Welcome to 13 Degrees of Screams.
We're your hosts, Stephanie.
And Alex.
And this week we try to win back our advertisers with a haunted house live stream in Deadstream.
So, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Had you seen Deadstream before we watched it for the podcast?
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
It just kind of flew under the radar for me, I think, until you brought it up, honestly. I might have watched a trailer for it, but I feel like you had already mentioned it to me at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about it either until a friend of mine suggested we do it for the podcast. So, here we are, doing it for the podcast. I hadn't heard about it. Thank you, Ghost Boy, on Twitter for recommending this lovely movie.
It was a choice.
Elaborate. Did you like it?
It was goopy.
It was goopy?
It was very goopy. I don't like goopy, apparently.
Oh, okay. What's wrong with the goop?
I don't like to feel sick.
You don't like to feel sick?
I don't like to feel sick watching movies.
Oh, did you get nauseous?
Like towards the end with things like blowing up in his face. And
really?
I was just kind of like,
Okay. I don't know what that says about me, but it didn't bother me at all.
Really?
Blood and wounds and stuff, that's where it gets me. Slime and goopy stuff. Like, let me back up. In real life, if that happened to me, I'd be puking all over the place. But, like, seeing it, I'm like, eh.
I was trying to rationalize in my head, like, when the one dead thing blows up on him, I was like, that's got to be, like, oatmeal, right?
Well,
right?
Yeah, it's not real.
I know. Well, I was just trying to, like, picture another thing to make it less gross to me. Wasn't helping.
Oh, really?
No, not really.
Oh. That's sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. You know, can't love it all.
Okay, so outside of the goopiness, you texted me. You're like, I'm scared. I'm nervous.
I was nervous. I was shaking like a little leaf. I was like, oh no. I was... So, I know it's not real. I know it's a parody and everything. A parody of a bunch of things. But when it comes to, like, found footage stuff, or even the guise of found footage stuff, I expect to be like little shadows and little specters and stuff. But then when I saw the trailer, I was like, no, it's going to be goopy.
Back to the goopy.
Back to goopy. Maybe that's what I'll title this. Deadstream being goopy.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like expecting it, I guess, waiting for it to get gross and creepy because I knew that there was going to be more than just some shadows and stuff. So I think that was what was getting me. But then you were like, just cool it. We've watched scarier stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll try to tell myself that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get to our scary rating at the end of the episode, but I was like, you'll be okay. Because this movie ended up being, like, sillier than I anticipated. Mm-hmm. Like, it says horror comedy, like, when you look it up, but it was way more, like, slapstick than I thought it would be, which wasn't a bad thing. It was, like, I guess lighthearted is the word. It didn't take itself seriously, like, at all.
And I will say that made it more bearable, because if it was, like, the quality and the scares or something that we got out of it, I would have been not in.
Not in. Okay, so more found footage movies is what you're saying.
I mean, yeah, sure. We can do Blair Witch. That's fine. Like,
yeah, that's fair. You know what movie this reminded me of? And I don't think you've seen them. Evil Dead.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Like, especially Evil Dead 2.
I've heard that it's like that and the Blair Witch kind of like combined. Mm-hmm. And I also have never watched Evil Dead because it also looks goopy.
Well, yeah, that is very goopy.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't like goopies.
The remake is played seriously, but like Evil Dead 2 and 3. Evil Dead 3 is not that goopy. It's a little goopy. But regardless, this is a silly movie.
Yeah.
Like, it was way sillier than I thought, and I appreciated it because of it.
Yeah. I will say that I even put in my notes here somewhere that the live stream makes it, like the comments and stuff
oh
like
my
that.
God.
And I was like, and you will be disappointed whenever you're not seeing the comments from the audience.
Having streamed, I stream every once in a while. That's accurate. Those are accurate comments that you would get from people.
I just love how widespan it was, from like supportive to like just like go kill yourself.
Yeah, basically. And it's accurate. They did a really good job at emulating the whole YouTube aspect of this disgraced YouTuber, but then also the live stream aspect felt like it seemed like that's what would actually happen.
Oh yeah,
in a real live stream. So
right.
I thought they did that perfectly.
Yes. That was pretty good. I liked a little bit of the slapstick and the silly stuff that he said, as like the cringe stuff he said made me laugh and stuff. Like when he dedicates the live.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry for being a racist. But I'm also going to dedicate this to the blacks and Mexicans. I was like, oh no, don't do it.
I see what you were going for, but also don't.
No, don't say these things.
Oh, yeah. Oh boy. Oh,
yeah.
buddy.
Every time, like, even when he was trying to be genuine, he, like, would just put his foot in it.
Yeah. Our main character here is a little misguided.
Yeah.
But you know what?
A little lost.
Little lost. Yeah, he did everything you probably shouldn't do in this whole scenario. But you know what? He persevered and he fought back at some point. So,
yeah,
good on him.
I guess.
You were rooting for the ghost. You're like, kill this man.
I was rooting for the audience. I was like, whatever the audience wants, that's fine.
Make it a spectacle.
Yes.
Are you ready to go into some movie background?
Yeah.
Deadstream is a 2022 American supernatural horror comedy film directed, written, produced, and edited by wife and husband Vanessa and Joseph Winter in their directorial debut, with Joseph also acting as lead actor and soundtrack composer. Did it all.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive.
I was surprised by that. I thought at least it would have somebody else, like the writer or director, or nope, just him the whole way.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy because I think I talked about this on the podcast before. Trying to make a movie in college with our friends.
Yeah, I think a little.
Oh, I'll remind you if I didn't.
Just go ahead and tell for the audience.
Yeah. I tried to make a movie in college with some friends, your husband being one of them. And yeah, that didn't get very far. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I bet.
I was like, wow, why did we try to do this? So for him to do all of that.
Kudos.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I guess they did have different people playing the ghost, but it is almost just him, aside from the main ghost.
Oh, yeah. The whole movie, like, rests on the shoulders. Mm-hmm. Like, if he was really bad, then the whole movie would have fell apart. And we really didn't talk about his acting. He was really over the top, but I think it worked in this scenario because he was trying to be, like, an entertainer, showboaty kind of guy. So
Charlie watched it. Oh. Sorry. Charlie watched it with me, and he said that he didn't like the acting choices. And I was like, I think it really kind of fits, though, with the kind of personality you're expecting. Like, yeah, you don't like that kind of personality right off the bat. But
he's abrasive, but also that's what you would get from an over-the-top.
Yeah. Canceled YouTuber.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, this makes perfect sense. I think he did a great job kind of capturing that essence of a wannabe entertainer.
Yes.
So I wish I could be that outgoing and energetic, but I'm not.
No,
so,
well,
good for him.
I mean, it came at its cost as well. And
yeah,
after being canceled like that, though, like I feel like it just makes more sense to just crawl into your hole and be like, not die, just find something else.
Yeah.
But to come back and just be just as earnest and be like, no, I'm not gonna go kill myself. I mean, don't over that, but still, like, I think it's very hard and difficult to come back into that kind of limelight when people have already canceled you and decided like you're no good.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation about that. But you know what? He tried his best.
Yes.
The plot follows a disgraced content creator attempting to resurrect his career by live streaming himself spending the night in a notorious haunted house. And I will say, I was expecting this house to be bigger than it was. I was like going to be like, not a mansion per se, but
yeah,
it was very small.
It was like a little shack.
Yeah.
And once he got through all the rooms, I was like, oh, that's it? Like,
That's it?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Well, we've seen it. And I was like, you don't even have to stay the night. You got through it in 5 minutes.
Yeah. They did make the best out of the room they had, though.
Mm-hmm. They did.
I read that that house was allegedly haunted.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did they mention any sightings or anything that they saw?
No, not based on what I said or what I read. According to filmmakers Joseph and Vanessa, the abandoned house used for the production was haunted. The local lore is wild about the house. They shared in an interview with Nightmare on Film Street. About half the crew was convinced that it was haunted, they elaborated, and there were 2 rooms specifically that people didn't enjoy being in alone.
Tell me a story, otherwise it didn't happen.
No, they're just like, it's scary.
It was just scary in
It's
there.
scary dog.
And they were just like looking at other people dressed in costumes, apparently, and they were like, scary.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah, because I don't know, when you say something about like the town thinks it's scary, like tell me what's scary about it.
I'll look it up really quick.
Yeah.
So there is this question and answer with Joseph, the director, writer, actor, that guy. He was talking about the house and how there was a construction guy there that was reinforcing the walls, and he was spooked to be there. He was so uncomfortable walking through it. He said you could see it in his eyes. He told us when he was a teenager, they broke in because of the haunted legends, like a lot of locals do when they're kids. He said he saw a woman standing in the window of what used to be a bathroom for Deadstream, and he was so scared of that room, but he saw it. He believed it with his heart that he saw it. He's not the only person, because there's this woman that's been seen on the upper floor if you start digging in the lore of the house. Also, crew members were saying that they felt stuff when they were there, but he said he didn't feel anything.
Oh.
So
He was just not sensitive to it. Everyone else was like, you making a horror movie in here? What's it about? A lady?
A lady.
I saw a lady upstairs. Is it that lady?
Yeah, it's that one.
It was just the girl dressed in her costume.
Yeah. That's an actress?
Oh, it's scary up there. No, I was kidding. I'm sure that they did see something. It was an actual house, it says in the little article you have here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a historical property. So I guess all the graffiti and stuff was real from the scenes, which is cool, I guess.
Very authentic. Deadstream had its world premiere at South by Southwest on March 11th in 2022 and was released in the United States on October 6th in 2022 by Shudder. It has a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes with a critical consensus stating, proof that there's still life in the found footage gimmick. Deadstream is a scarily good bit of B-movie fun and has a 76% for the audience score.
Nice.
90's high.
Yeah. I wouldn't have given it a 90, but okay.
Oh my gosh, Stephanie.
I'm glad everyone else had fun.
What would you have given it? What percent?
74?
74. Well, actually, so do you know how Rotten Tomatoes actually gets the percentage?
Mm-mm.
So it's actually kind of stupid the way it works. It's if you have a slightly favorable review, it goes towards good or bad, basically. And then as like 90% of reviews are good, and that could range from it was all right to the best thing ever.
Oh.
So whenever we talk about Rotten Tomatoes, take that with a grain of salt.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's not like up or down. Like
Yeah, so
good.
like,
It's like this is C average.
It could be.
Or better, or C of average and worse.
Yeah, kind of. It doesn't mean like the average is 9 out of 10
Yes.
for these reviews. It's
Okay.
like,
That does make more sense.
yeah.
Okay.
Which is why Rotten Tomatoes is always usually a weird, like a discrepancy, or like, wait, why is that so high, or why is that so low?
Yeah, that's
Because it
fair.
could be like if it's slightly negative, it's either good or bad.
Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. Are you ready to go into the plot?
Hell yeah.
Right away, we meet internet personality Sean, known for the channel Wrath of Sean for posting videos featuring himself performing stunts to overcome his fears. Previous to filming the current video, he was canceled for 6 months due to some unknown but serious controversy, which resulted in him losing the majority of his fan base and advertisers. After issuing an apology video, he's been permitted to be monetized again and has gained a new singular sponsor. Desperate to regain his popularity and keep the sponsor, Sean plans to livestream himself spending the night in Death Manor, a supposed haunted house where several people have died.
What a comeback.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we're going to do.
Go right in.
Mm-mm. Maybe we could, like, ease in.
Like dip our toe? Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're just going to go straight to Death Manor.
Yeah.
This is fine. Everything's fine.
Right. I think the sponsor kind of held his feet to the fire, I guess, on it.
They're probably like, he's not going to survive, so it's fine. We can sponsor you for one day.
Yeah. We can afford that.
What was the sponsor? It was like a drink?
It was like an energy drink. It was like Thunder something.
Thunder something.
Thunder wave. I don't
Thunder
know.
drinky.
It was a Thunder drinky.
Thunder sippies.
It looked kind of like a liquid death can, but it was like black. But I think it said Thunder.
Okay. I couldn't tell you. It's some kind of drink.
All of the names are made up. Like, this is supposed to look kind of like YouTube-ish or live stream, like Twitch-ish most of the time, but they call it the platform Livid, I think is what they call it.
Sounds right. That's not real, right?
I don't think so.
Watch. There's all these Livid streamers like, oh, it is real.
Notice us. Hey. We know YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, that's it.
As he starts the live stream, we learn that as part of the deal with the sponsor, if he leaves or refuses to explore the house, he will forfeit their sponsorship.
It's such a weird, like, stipulation.
Yeah, like, go in here, possibly die.
Do you think people who work for Thunder Drinky is, like, watching the stream to make sure? Like, pull his sponsorship, he's leaving!
I think so. The way he was talking to them, like, he was nervous about swearing and stuff like that, too. He was like, please don't pull me.
Yeah.
I get 3 strikes, right? For swears.
Oh, yeah.
So to ensure he stays the night, Sean takes the spark plugs out of his car, stupidly tossing them into the woods. And once he gets into the house, locks himself in and drops the key into a large grate. And I was like, why would you do that? Why?
Because he did not want to leave.
I mean, I don't know. Like, you know what's at stake. I don't feel like you need to be locked in to know that you have to stay.
I don't know, unless he's just...
I mean, I guess he does run quite a bit, like, up floors of stairs, like, up to the second floor or downstairs whenever he hears anything. So I guess, I don't know, maybe he just thinks that he'll have, like, he'll just, like, road runner out of there and beep beep, like...
What, you mean if he can't use the car? Or like,
well, if he had access to the car or if he could get out the door, he would probably just, like, he'd be halfway down the street every time he heard something.
I would.
Yeah.
I'm like, bye. Screw the sponsorship.
I guess that's fair, but I feel like also he just put him in a very silly place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the spark plugs, you're never getting that back.
No, well, he shouldn't have.
No.
And I'm like, those are gone. Yeah.
I was like, so you're just never leaving.
No, I would just... Here's the thing, like, yeah, you can't drive away, but you could still walk away.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's kind of in a remote location, but I would much rather just take my chances walking down the street than stay in that house.
Right.
Like, nothing's stopping him from doing that.
That is true.
Like, I would just, can't drive, but you know what? I have legs.
Yeah.
And that's all I need right now.
I just feel like the more responsible thing was to put, like, his stuff, like the spark plugs and maybe his keys and I don't know, whatever else he wanted to hide from himself, like in a lockbox or something like that, and just be like, I need to take time and, like, do the code and everything.
Do you think our Shawnee boy here makes the best decisions in his life?
No, I think he's constantly doing one bad decision after another.
Yeah, I think so too.
The funniest portion of this entire movie is the live stream comments that he periodically checks, and you'll become disappointed when we aren't focused on them. What are some of your favorite ones that you saw? I liked the one where, like, he's, like, creeped out going through the house in the very start, and they're like, are you still dating? What's her face?
I just like the ones that are just, like, just calling it fake.
Yeah.
It's just like they don't believe it.
Yeah.
And I think it's boring.
Yeah, fake, I'm leaving. Like, that happened quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm like, if only you knew.
Mm-hmm.
This
Some of them
real.
were, like, I thought a fair amount of them were supportive compared to being canceled and stuff like that. I was like, oh, well.
No, it's always, like, 50-50. He has his, like, diehard fans, and they're there for him.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, entertain us better.
Right. The comments span from votes of support to death threats to completely unrelated garble. Sean goes from each room, setting up cameras with motion detectors to survey the whole house at once, and explains the history behind Death Manor. The main resident ghost is that of Mildred Pratt, a wealthy Mormon heiress and failed poet who died by suicide after her publisher and fiancé's sudden death. Following residents of the house died mysteriously until the house was eventually abandoned. Sean speculates that the deaths over the year could have been Mildred's attempts to create the family she was unable to have in life. And I was like, oh, so you have nothing to worry about because she won't want you.
Oh, Stephanie.
He was kind of, I don't know. I was like, you're so dumb. You deserve what you get coming to you, I guess.
Oh my gosh. No sympathy. Stephanie BB in the chat. Like, die faster. This is boring. You had this coming. You
Fake,
suck.
I'm leaving.
Stay canceled, noob.
I mean, yeah.
She's not even denying it.
I mean, granted, I don't attend very many live streams, so.
But if you did,
if I
you'd make these people cry.
If I didn't want to get blocked all the time, yeah, I would probably say these things to people.
Just ban. He didn't seem to ban anyone, so.
Yeah, that was funny that he didn't have like a moderator or anything.
No, he should have.
He probably should have. Sean tours the house, labeling each room and denoting various encounters. In an upstairs bedroom, he sets up his monitor and remaining equipment, stating that there has been no documented paranormal activity in that room, so it is deemed the safe room.
Perfect.
I was like, okay.
It's like if this were a video game, like Resident Evil, this would be the save room, like where you save your game.
Oh, yeah. Nothing happens in there.
Exactly. That's what that room is.
And I was like, everything's going to happen in there.
Not everything.
No, not everything, but enough.
Just a few things.
He searches the closet, finding a strange symbol hanging on the wall, and is convinced that if something happens to him, it'll be because of the symbol. Then later destroys it in a panic, and he just, like, takes it off the wall. Like, I don't like it!
Bro, no! Because as soon as that happened, I'm like, you shouldn't have done that.
No.
Like, that was a big mistake.
Why'd you mess with that? Like, why are you messing with the house?
Yeah, just sit there. Just sit there, and we didn't mention that he made a rule for himself that if he hears something, he has to go.
Oh, yes. I think that was in the contract, but...
Oh, JK,
with
if
the
you said
advertisers. Either way, like every time he hears a noise or whatever, or the cameras go off and the audience wants him to check it out, he's supposed to.
Yeah, see, it'd be enough for me to just stay in the house. Like, that's as far as I'm going. If I'm hearing shit, I'm hunkering down furthest from that noise.
Yes.
So,
Fair. Oh, also, he does kind of talk about the ghost kind of brazenly. Like, he makes himself at home in this crack den of a house. Like, there's needles, used needles and stuff, and graffiti everywhere. He just moves shit around to, like, fit his recording space and takes the sign off his wall and destroys it and stuff like that. Then he talks a lot of smack about the ghost, and I was like, why would you talk about her, like, openly like this? This is definitely the recorded footage you put over this after.
Yeah, right, when you're safe at home.
Yeah.
Like, in the moment... You would just be like, oh, I'm going to be very respectful of this house.
Right.
Mildred, you're the best.
Right.
And then I would talk shit, like, if I were to edit it later.
Yeah, but he's doing, like, the equivalent of, like, getting in a mirror and shouting Bloody Mary 3 times and then being like, and Bloody Mary would never come after me, because that would be stupid of her.
Mildred's like, I bet. She rolls up.
Right. Fearful of losing the audience interest, Sean brings out a wheel of choices to provoke the spirits, and the arrow lands on Seance. He attempts to contact the dead children there, but runs back to his safe room when he hears some noises. I was like, you gotta expect it, though.
Yeah. First of all, even if the noises aren't of paranormal nature, it is a dilapidated house. Like, it's just gonna make noise.
Right. And he's just running through it, like, having all kinds of faith that this house isn't gonna just break.
It looks like it's going to.
It looks like a cardboard box.
It basically is.
Mm-hmm. And apparently the noises are from Chrissy, a super fan that has traveled all the way to Death Manor to meet him. And she's just there all of a sudden, like, in the safe room. Yeah.
Interesting.
Weird, huh?
Chrissy, she's very peppy.
Yeah. Super excited to be here. Not scared at all.
No, she's having the best time.
Right. At first, he's excited to see another person, but it quickly fades when he realizes he'll have to share the limelight with her if she stays. He puts it to a vote, and the audience obviously wants Chrissy.
Bro,
they're like, Team Chrissy immediately.
They love Chrissy, not Sean.
Right.
Like, I could have told you that.
Well, he lets her stay begrudgingly, allowing her to accompany him to please them. Almost immediately, Chrissy is just running through this house like she's speed running it. Like,
no, see, Chrissy, you have to stay the whole night. It doesn't matter. You don't have to do
how quickly you get through it. She's just like, I'm over here, and then I'm over here. I'm like,
look at this. What's this? What's this room? I'm in this room. Look at this wall. Look at this bed.
I found this. Read it. Like,
oh my, Chrissy, calm down, girl.
So, yeah, she's running all through the house, and whenever they're momentarily separated, she's jumping out and scaring Sean. He decides to give her a camera to wear so he can see where she's at.
It's like a leash.
I know, kind of.
Where's Chrissy at?
Right. So he can see where she's at as they further investigate the house. And they find a hidden basement with a chest that contains a small locked box and a journal of Mildred's poetry. Chrissy eagerly wants him to read it, but he refuses, calling it mediocre at best. They attempt to contact the spirits again with a Ouija board. Chrissy convinced Sean to recite a Latin phrase to put the ghost to rest. I was like, no, she just speaking Latin like that? Like, no.
Yeah, you don't just say shit.
She has it memorized. Like, it's not like shit she just looked up, like, oh, here, this is what it says to put the spirits at rest.
Yeah, she's like a super fan of Sean, allegedly. But he's not like a paranormal YouTuber. Like, This is just something that he decided to do. So you're telling me she's a super fan and also knows a lot of paranormal stuff? Red flag. Red flag, Chrissy!
Yes.
Bad.
They hear more noises upstairs, and Sean asks Chrissy to go check it out, but after being berated by the audience as a cowardice woman hater, he goes after her only to be frightened by her again as she seemingly appears and disappears. Frustrated, he accuses her of being some crazy stalker that waited for him there, as it doesn't make sense how she got in, when he locked the door and tells her to leave. Chrissy attacks him while laughing maniacally and bites a piece out of his neck. I was like, oh, she just bit him. Like,
oh, no. That's not good.
No. I was like, oh, okay. Ooh.
Kinky? Question mark?
I'm like, what are we supposed to do with that? Like,
be not happy.
Yeah.
Potentially scared. Were you still scared at this point in the movie?
We stopped at that point. We were just watching it over like a lunch break from work. So then, yeah, we had to go back to work. But I was a little nervous that it was escalating.
Oh, it was just like, she bit him.
She did bite him. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then Charlie's like, yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to be for me. And I was like, I think it's going to be for you now. Like, you're going to stay.
You just had him watch it, and then you had him relay the information to you.
Yeah.
You didn't even watch this movie.
No, I had him tell me.
Oh, my God.
No, but I did. I was like, you're going to watch this with me after work, right? Like, you're not going to leave me to watch it by myself, right? And he's like, fine. In self-defense, he stabs her in the neck and believes he's killed her. He asks the audience to call the cops because there's been an accident and intends to leave to turn himself in. But when he goes back into the hallway, he finds her body missing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
She should definitely be there still.
Right. Sean searches the grate he had thrown his key down to get out, but only finds the key to a little locked box containing a severed finger and a picture revealing that Chrissy is actually Mildred Pratt.
What?
Yeah, I was like, she's something. She's part of this somehow.
But not Mildred.
Not.
She's straight up Mildred.
No, as soon as she bit on. Well, she was weird before. I was like, she gonna get killed because she was disappearing so quickly all the time. I was like, oh, bye, Chrissy.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even remember her in the trailer. So we were like, yeah, this girl ain't gonna make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember her at all.
Mm-hmm. The viewers start sending Sean videos. Oh, one person commented, like, obviously Chrissy was Mildred or something like that.
Yeah, duh.
They were like, yeah, we knew. You didn't know? You were talking to Mildred this whole time.
I mean, okay, listen. There's a certain level of, he should have saw that coming. But there's no way in hell I would have ever been like, Chrissy is obviously Mildred. Like, as a viewer. Right. But, like, in his situation.
Oh, yeah, no. I wouldn't have
my
jumped
bad.
that far. No, but the audience is like, yeah, we all knew.
Dumbass. Stupid.
The viewers start sending Sean videos explaining that they researched the symbol found in the closet, and it turns out it's a hamsa meant to protect against evil. Also, the Latin phrase Chrissy, a.k.a. Mildred, had him recite was a soul offering ritual she had used to bind the souls of the previous occupants to herself.
Oops.
Yeah, I was like, wow, you really got yourself in a pickle here.
Just a little bit.
Just a big old pickle.
The biggest of pickles.
Yeah.
It is large.
Yes.
Large pickle.
It's a whole jar.
Of one pickle. It's just a jar containing one big pickle.
Yeah.
That's currently what's happening.
Mm-hmm. After being terrorized by the grotesque ghouls of the previous occupants, Sean makes several attempts to flee the house and eventually jumps out the second floor window.
It's bad for him, but it's funny. He runs out.
I think
and, face plants.
I think it's funny too because right before we find out Chrissy is Mildred, Chrissy suggests that she must have climbed in through the window because the door was locked. And he makes it seem like, oh, no one would come in from, like, the second floor window. And then he, like, jumps out, like, feet first.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, jumping out is easier than jumping in.
I guess that's
to the
true.
second floor.
Yeah.
Chrissy just, like, hops from the ground up to the second floor.
Yeah, like a little Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, she's climbing on the wall.
Sean manages to locate the spark plugs in the woods, but not without encountering more ghouls.
Oh my god, there's that one that was, like, camouflaged. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
They're in the woods, too?
They're all icky.
You can't even be safe outside.
No.
Because they're in the woods.
I thought he'd be safe outside because
Nope.
I thought they were just inside.
No, ma'am. They're outside, too.
And he goes into the children's nursery at one point, and there's like a little kid sitting on the bed, and
Like a conjoined twin thing going on.
yeah, like it has like a creature coming out of its abdomen or something.
I'm not the baby, I'm a tumor.
Yeah, just a little tumor.
Have you ever seen Hellboy 2?
No.
Oh my god, side tangent. I only saw it like one time, but there's like this guy creature thing. He has a little thing growing out of his back. And it talks. He's like, I'm not a baby, I'm a tumor.
Oh god. Okay.
That's what it looked like. If you've seen Hellboy 2.
Oh, all right. After fending one off with a potato gun, he accidentally damages his iPad. Isolated from his viewers and feeling hopeless, Sean seeks refuge in his car and begins to read from Mildred's poetry book. There he uncovers the incantation Mildred used to acquire her dark powers, realizing that the phrase echoed, "The pond water is still," by the ghostly voices is actually found within one of her poems.
Oh my god.
Yes. And I feel like this is still a big jump. This leads him to the revelation that Mildred never desired a family. Rather, she craved an audience for her poetry. And I was like, oh, I mean, I guess.
Everyone at the coffee shop is like, at our poems is clipping.
Yeah. That's what the ghosts are forced to do, apparently.
You know, this reminds me of like Zach Bagans from...
Oh, for sure.
From Ghost Adventures, who's like, the ghost made a noise. Does this mean the ghost wants to steal your soul and never wanted children? And blah, 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 blah. It's like, what? Where did you get that from, my guy?
One of the previous clips, when he's originally going through the house and like talking about previous encounters, he plays a clip of two guys, and one guy's like, I don't like it in here. I don't know why, but I don't like it. And I was like, this is Zach Bagans.
Yeah.
Zach Bagans and that one guy I hate so much.
What other guy do you hate?
His name's like Chris or something.
You hate him?
I don't know. He just like, people will have like more descriptive like experiences, and Chris is like, I got a cold spot. I think I don't see ghosts too, kind of thing. I don't know. It just seems weird.
He's like, yeah, guys. Yeah, I
see
feel
ghosts
it too.
all the time.
He doesn't see a damn ghost.
No.
Not one time.
Every time he's just kind of like, yeah, a ghost. Like everyone is talking to full ghost, and Chris is just like, definitely see him.
There's one in that corner, and everyone's like turning the other way.
They're like, oh, we see this one.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, he must have moved. But I swear that was like what I really hated about Ghost Adventures when Charlie used to watch all the time. Like he would just be like, I'm in a cold spot, like, or something like that. Something's wrong. I'm in a cold spot. I'm like, yeah, you've been in a cold spot this whole fucking house.
There's no windows. It's cold here.
This isn't air conditioning and heating. This is an abandoned house full of ghosts. Inspired, Sean resolves to use his own audience to complete the ritual and send her back to hell. Determined, Sean arms himself and heads back to confront Mildred, battling his way to the safe room. He grabs a backup iPad and reads through the comments that reveal the incantation. As he prepares for the ritual, he awkwardly apologizes for his past insensitive behavior and promises to improve himself. And this is where he tells what he was canceled for and how he did this apology video, even though he didn't want to. I guess he must have had like a fear of homeless people or something like that. But he said that this homeless man he ended up fighting and hurting, signed a waiver. But he didn't know that this person was sick or something like that. And people were claiming that he was discriminating against the homeless person, and it was no good. Yeah. And so he's like, yeah, I mean, I feel bad. I've been insensitive and stuff in the past. And then this is for you guys. Like, but he actually says the people, and then you're like, oh, it feels weird and icky when you say it like that.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you tried.
Yeah, like, it feels like he's trying to be as genuine as possible, but still not great.
Yeah, I know.
In an intense showdown with Mildred, Sean gains the upper hand and attempts to recite the incantation, but it fails. Then he notices her severed finger and recalls that the ritual requires a sacrifice of flesh. Yeah. Alex hates that word.
I hate it.
In a desperate move, he cuts off one of his own fingers.
Fingies.
Fingies.
Not the phalanges.
Not the fingies. Successfully completing the ritual.
I do want to say really quick. So the symbol for the ritual, whatever, had a hand, like missing a finger. He found her finger later. Like, hello. Like, yeah. He didn't think that was the case sooner. He's like,
I don't wait know. A minute. I felt like he opened the box fairly early, too. And then he was just like, ew, a finger, and just kind of like tossed it aside. But then I was like, oh, well, when you see the hand and you realize that you're supposed to use it, wouldn't you think the finger?
Yeah, like cut your finger off. Yeah, probably.
That's true. Honestly, though, maybe it was on the other hand, but it seemed like she kept sticking her fingers up his nose whenever she attacked him. It seemed like she had all of the fingers, though, on that hand.
On one hand?
Yeah, so maybe perhaps
it was on the other.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
An unseen force drags Mildred into a blood-filled basement. Elated, Sean thanks his record-setting viewer count for their support in helping him survive the night. However, as he makes his exit, he finds himself encircled by Mildred's remaining ghoul audience, and his live stream abruptly cuts out.
Womp womp.
And Charlie said it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy because he started the stream with, like, this is the found footage of a YouTube channel host or something that investigated a house, and this was the footage found a year later after his disappearance or something like that. And I was like, so you
disappeared.
Literally did the thing. Like,
yeah. So you disappeared.
Yeah.
So good job. Good job, Sean, for that. You are gone.
What do you think that meant? Like, do you think it meant that he bound the spirits to himself?
That's what I thought, because he destroyed Mildred. So now they're like, Daddy?
Daddy?
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, Daddy. Do you think they're going to kill him?
In my head, they are, like, bound to him and he could control them.
You think so?
No, but that's what I want.
They seem like they were closing in on him, like, to attack him. So
probably, but in my head, it would be funny if he was able to, like, control. He's just chilling in the house, like, talking to them, like, hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys. Yeah, I feel like either they're going to kill him to make him one of them because, you know, you need to be a ghost to control him, or they're just going to, you know, kill him because...
Why not?
Well, he's probably weaker than Mildred. So, like, they couldn't defeat Mildred and be free from that. But if they kill Sean, then...
maybe?
Then they could be free.
Perhaps. I don't know.
Rules
unclear.
Yeah. It probably was a little bit of a cop-out for an ending, honestly. I was like, just tell me for sure. Whether or not they're killing him, whether or not he's going to get out. Like,
watch, there was, like, an end credit scene that we didn't watch.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Well, if there was, we didn't see it, so we're going to speculate.
I'll Google.
You don't have to. I don't want to know.
You don't want to know?
I don't want to know. I'm going to go with...
I do.
Okay, don't tell me.
Okay.
No, you can tell me. I don't care.
Because I'm definitely going to share with everybody else, so you're going to have to plug your ears.
Okay, I'll leave the room.
Yep. They just leave it at that.
Okay. Sean controls the ghost. That's my headcanon.
Yeah? You want him to survive?
Why not? Happy ending.
Okay. That's a good choice for you, I guess.
Thanks. You want to talk about our reading?
Yeah, sure. We're going to cut to a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. I'm Josh.
And I'm Brett.
If you're looking for a different horror podcast, one that stands out from the rest...
Well, don't look here.
Absolutely not. Every week we talk about our favorite horror movies and some of our favorite aspects of those horror movies.
So that's something that interests you? Check us out.
The only thing that sets us apart is that it's us. So if you like the sound of our voices...
check us out at the Evil Desk Podcast.
Wherever it is that you find podcasts.
So before we watched it, what did you have it rated as? Your little guess.
I think I put it out of 10 because I saw some of the special effects and stuff in the trailer, and I was like, okay, looks like it could be spooky.
Ooh.
Looks like it could be gross.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay, a 10.
Okay.
When I was watching it, I would say I still felt a little scared.
Okay.
But then after it got real silly, like at one point, Mildred just like jumps up and bites him in the crotch just out of nowhere.
She says, Gucci, and bites him.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. We're just doing fun, silly stuff now.
Fun, silly stuff. Typical Saturday night. Gucci.
So that got a little bit more silly, but also still gross.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I still feel like it could be a 10, but maybe I'll drop it down to like a 9 because of the silliness, and some of the effects were a little gross, but not completely convincing.
Okay.
But then there was like the throw-up-y, blow-up stuff that was disgusting and goopy. No goops.
You and your goops.
I don't like the goops.
You're not a fan.
How about you?
I had it as a 9.
Mm-hmm.
And truth be told, I would bump that down to like a 6.
Really? This was just like a everyday Saturday for you.
It wasn't scary anymore when it became silly, because then I'm just like, oh, they're silly ghosts.
Just this goofy time.
It's just a goofy time. Like, I don't know. Like, the over-the-top grossness doesn't scare me. So I can't really factor that into it, really. If I were doing a separate, like, gross rating, sure, but it didn't scare me.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see what you mean by that, because I would do like a 10 for gross.
Yeah. So once you was like, again, the Gucci part, I'm like, oh, okay. These guys are silly.
Yeah.
They're just silly.
There was that one scene, like, before the thing, like, blows up on him, he, like, reaches into the bathtub and he just, like, eats, like, a little eyeball, and I was like, that's not for me.
That's not fun.
No.
Yeah, so 6 in our rating is the highest part of a little scary, but I'll deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I, like, when it was over, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So it's in the middle of the
Where
rating.
does 10 put us again? That would be like a...
I can't unsee this.
For gross, yes.
For gross, yeah. We should just do, like, secondary rating.
Yeah,
for
I don't
gross,
know.
for sure.
I guess for plot, once you get past the grossness of it, it could be like a 6-ish.
Yeah. If you take away the grossness, I think this is not... There's not a lot of gore.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as, like, vulgar language, there's not that much. So I feel like a 13-year-old could watch it. I think it's rated R.
It's unrated when I Googled it, but
that's just because,
but I think it said 16 plus on Amazon Prime when I watched it.
Yeah, I think it's fine for like a younger person to watch it. It's just gross. There's really no sexual content either.
I guess. I don't know.
In my opinion.
I was nervous. I will say that. But yeah, it was more about the grossness that I was nervous about, I guess.
Yeah. That's like me and gore, though, because like I've definitely bumped up a rating because it was gory.
Yeah.
So like you could bump it up for grossness if you want. Like that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Like slimy cartoon. That's not cartoony.
No slimes.
No slimes.
Sliming.
But
sliming.
You know what? I like slime. Like like you buy slime and then like a Nickelodeon kid with the slime.
Yeah, I never got the appeal of that.
Really? I'm like, yeah, I want to be slimed so bad.
Oh, really? I was like,
yes.
No, I would never sign up for that.
Okay, see, this is where we differ. So
yeah. All right. Okay. I see.
You see.
I see.
Okay, so what's your final verdict if you had to pick?
10 for gross.
Okay, 10 for gross. Okay, we'll do a little caveat here. 10 as a gross factor, but 6 for scary factor.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately what we're rating on. So
maybe a 7.
Okay, a 7. Is there something behind me? Goop.
Yeah.
It's
all goopy.
You're gonna dream of goop tonight.
No goops.
Oh, no goops.
No goops.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoy the show and listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, giving us a 5-star rating is super helpful, and we will always appreciate it.
You can follow us on social media using 13 Degrees of Screams.
This has been 13 Degrees of Screams, and we will see you next week. Oh, look at strawberry.
Look at strawberry.
You're playing footsie with me.
Sorry.
On air.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Please don't tell Charlie. It was a mistake.
It was a mistake. Okay. Oh my God.